There's been a lot of xenophobia happening in the black community within the diaspora, but most importantly, the supremacy happening in the African American community, and that's been very interesting to witness. But ultimately, the most interesting conversation that came from that is the "we're boycotting African braiding shops" conversation. If you don't know, there's a growing movement for African Americans to boycott African braiding shops. Ask me, what did African braiding shops do? Nothing. Because the issue
But really, I would rather be at home all by myself, not in this room with people who don't even care about.
The people you call black Americans are not from Africa.
Okay.
We're from America.
I mean, if you're not black, just keep scrolling. This video is for my African Americans and African brothers and sisters. Specifically for us, I am so confused. Why am I seeing that on August 1st?
Who the heck started this whole boycott African businesses trend? Like, seriously, people's priorities are messed up all over the place right now. There are actual people being held in concentration camps. Genocide is happening in multiple places around the world, and y'all are focused on boycotting African businesses?
Hello guys, the black Americans are boycotting African businesses in America. It's very awkward. Black against black. Do we say we are really our own enemies? You know, this whole boycott is rooted in self-hate. Yes, that is what I can say. We should not boycott an entire community. Guys, we are so much better than this. Let's get into this. I'll be back.
If you're not black, just keep scrolling. This video is for my African Americans and African brothers and sisters. Specifically for us, I am so confused. Why am I seeing that on August 1st, African Americans or a specific African American has forged a protest against African businesses, from African restaurants, African braiding salons, anything that is African owned? They have started a campaign that on August 1st, we as black Americans will be boycotting these businesses. What the fuck is wrong with us? What is wrong with us just as a people, as black Americans, African Americans? What the fuck is wrong with us that it makes sense to boycott African businesses because you may have had a bad experience with a African business? You've also had a bad experience with an Asian business. You've had a bad experience with a white business. You've had a bad experience with an Hispanic business, and so on and so forth. Where's the energy for those businesses that continuously come into our communities and disrespect us? But you want to start a war, a beef, continue a beef with Africans? Like, make it make sense. We are all one. Sure, we can distinguish ourselves as African American or African, but they look at us all the same. They don't look at an African and say, oh, you're African. They don't look at me as an African American and say, oh, she's an African American. No, she's a nigga. They all the same. So what sense does it make that we are boycotting our own people? Sometimes we can really be our own worst enemy. They don't even need to do anything to divide us. There's nothing more that they need to do. We can complete the mission ourselves. The self-hate, because that's what it is. It's self-hate. There is no way. I don't even know how this thing even got legs. How did this even get legs? You got people agreeing with it, like, yeah, when I go into the hair braiding shop, that's why black women ain't got edges, and that's why black women got bald spots or losing hair, because they braid so tight. What? That's the reason why you're boycotting them? Because you made a choice to let somebody braid your hair a certain way and you didn't get the desired results? So that's justification to boycott an entire community of people? Like, y'all dumb. I say it all the time to my friends and family. The majority of people are fucking stupid. And I mean that with my whole entire chest. Y'all are some dumb, ignorant ass people. Because this don't make no goddamn sense. How you boycott your own people when you got people, other races, other communities that have done far worse to us than we do to each other? But you want to sit here and boycott your own people. I don't even have no more words because I'm really going to go off and get to cursing on here, and I don't need to be doing all that. Y'all need to grow up and do better. Matter of fact, let's make August 1st, you do go to an African business. If there's an African beauty supply, if there's an African, I don't know, corner store, whatever kind of business it is out there that an African may have, go ahead and make sure y'all frequent it on August 1st. Let's counteract this ignorance because this is fucking stupid.
I'm tired of being nice to you, okay? Everybody please just shut the fuck up. All the people in diaspora, just shut the fuck up. Boycotting African businesses. Telling black Americans they don't know where they come from. Saying we aren't educated. Saying Africans want to be like us. And if they do so, the fuck what? I just don't care anymore, honestly. I don't give a fuck. We're all black. Like, we're all black. What the fuck? Honestly, just don't give a fuck. Like, it's given TikTok. Like, in my whole life, the Africans I knew, the Haitians I knew, the Jamaicans I knew, there's never been an issue in real life. TikTok is the only time I got on this shit and saw this shit. And then y'all keep spreading it and spreading it and spreading it. And y'all gonna make it a true narrative. Y'all really pissing me the fuck off. Whatever Africans or Jamaicans or Haitians or whatever might have thought behind closed doors, right? They didn't say it to us. Well, I didn't get it from them. I never got no smoke from them. I'm not gonna speak for everybody. But what I'm saying is, we need to let that shit go. It is not propelling us forward. What the fuck is boycotting African businesses going to do? Is that going to put money back into the black community, period? How about just buy things that you need? Or just be like, oh, boycott the businesses that don't want me. It just makes no sense to me. Like, I've been really being nice and patient with y'all, but everybody on both sides is pissing me off. I'm not going to lie. The dumb shit and to keep making videos, like, pushing the issue, you think you're helping the issue, but you're not helping. You're just pushing another narrative, and then your comments look crazy as hell. Y'all don't even be trying to combat the fucking comments. Y'all don't be deleting people. Y'all don't be blocking people. Y'all don't be doing none of that. Y'all add to the fucking issue. Everybody, just shut the fuck up, please.
There's been a lot of xenophobia happening in the black community within the diaspora, but most importantly, the supremacy happening in the African American community, and that's been very interesting to witness. But ultimately, the most interesting conversation that came from that is the "we're boycotting African braiding shops" conversation. If you don't know, there's a growing movement for African Americans to boycott African braiding shops. Ask me, what did African braiding shops do? Nothing, because the issue is not necessarily with them. But before we start here, let me give you the parallels of why I think this is so interesting. Be mindful that one of the cultures of America is to be self-centered, and it's ingrained into Americans of all sorts, including African Americans. It's not meant as an insult, but that's just how it is. On one side, we're talking about boycotting African braiding shops as a retaliation towards something that they had nothing to do with, really, but we could not boycott companies that actually harmed us as a community. McDonald's, Starbucks, Lululemon. And to put a pin in that, to connect it to a different pin, just about 2 years ago, we were having a conversation about braiders. We talked about braiders being very unprofessional, braiders coming in late, braiders were just not up to quality. They were asking for too much money, right? $500 for knotless braids. I'm coming up in your house, your kid is there, it's making a lot of noise, you're late, da-da-da-da-da, you're not giving my refund. A lot of these conversations were being had by black women of all sorts. However, in the comments, quite frequently, you would see people say, well, that's why I go to my African braiding shop, because they are this, that, and the third. They have been in the business for far longer, and they can learn new styles, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They were quite grateful to have that second option because the alternative was not working. And that's, okay. Second side is the reason as to why the boycott is happening. If you guys don't know, the boycott is happening because of Essence Fest. From my understanding, the Essence Festival is a Black American festival, right? It celebrates Black American culture, especially its history in America. Unfortunately, in an act that's so familiar about Black businesses being sold to other foreign entities or whatever, Essence got sold to a group of Africans. Basically, from then on, the Black American culture was dissolved out of Essence and it became something more resembling of Afro Nation, I suppose. And I'm saying I suppose to drastically show you the comparison really between African American culture and African culture, like you understand they went from point A to point B. And African Americans are upset, which for me is valid. It's reasonable. This was a celebration of your culture, right? Cool. And so let's put a pin in that right here. The plot twist, though, is rather than petitioning Essence, boycotting Essence, or even talking about how Essence sold out and this is an Essence issue, Essence needs to be an African American culture-based festival, the animosity was geared straight towards Africans. The entire pillar of capitalism was missed and skipped by a lot of creators who talked about it, and instead they targeted Africans, which became a heated conversation between two parties. And this is where I refer back to what I said in the beginning, which is like America tends to be very self-centered. Because if I called my cousin right now who's been in the country for 20 years, who's a black woman who loves makeup, and I said, hey, what's Essence Fest? She's gonna say it's a festival and have no understanding that it's connected to Black American culture. Unfortunately, African American culture is not explored and shared and learned as it should be globally, even in the country. And so a lot of people, frankly, just didn't know that Essence was a primarily African American culture based festival. The thing is, people would go and enjoy Essence Festival without understanding the background. So they'll just enjoy that there are black people, black foods, people are happy, people are having a good time, but they're lacking the nuance that it was an African American based festival. And so rather than targeting these kind of conversations, these kind of questions, Essence, you shouldn't have done that. And to the people who bought Essence, this is what Essence is ultimately about. Essence should have never sold out, It was instead pointed towards Africans. And the conversation has evolved to now, because Africans bought Essence and made it African, we are no longer spending our African American dollars at African baiting shops. Also, special edition, there is some pressure from Kenya ultimately trying to puppeteer to get its hands on the African American dollar, which is very true, unfortunately. Which gets interesting because one of the people I follow often says that there are conversations you cannot have online, and I think this is one of them, because rather than focusing on, like, for example, the Kenyan government doing that, and the Kenyan government trying to manipulate itself into getting to the African American dollar, instead it's become a whole conversation about how Africa is asking for reparations, which they're not. How Africa is doing this, which they're not. Africa is a whole continent. It is it's populated by countries. We're not even talking about specifics. We're not even talking about an entire focal point. It's just become a conversation about, once again, xenophobia, and unfortunately African Americans separating themselves from every other black demographic because of a lot of trauma, misunderstandings, and lack of communication and a bunch of other shit. And that's the entire conversation. Pin it somewhere. I don't know.
Do you guys understand that you have free will? Nobody is forcing you to braid your hair with African hair braiding shops. Do you guys understand that you can book with Black Americans through their Instagram, their link in their bio? Go ahead and pay your $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000 for braids. Nobody is begging you to go and braid your hair for $200. These microaggressions against Africans, in fact, it's not even micro anymore. These are macroaggressions against Africans is getting concerning, is getting out of hand, because not everything is a fight, not everything is an argument, not everything is outrage. You guys let Asians, Caucasians, Hispanics get away with everything, right? But when it comes to Africans, that is where you guys show power, which is fine. Let me tell you something. Black Americans are not the only group to spend money in African hair braiding shops. Africans exist in America. We are here. We spend money with our people also. So just like we spend money with you guys, we spend money everywhere as long as it is convenient, right? So let's stop acting like you guys were doing Africans a favor by getting your hair braided with Africans. You get your hair braided with Africans because it's cheap. It's very simple. So if you don't want to do that anymore, then don't do it. Go braid your hair with your people. It does not have to be an argument. Nobody's begging you. It's simple. Like, every time outrage, backlash. You guys don't get tired? Like, come on.
I'm making this video because I wanted to support Shaya's Shelf, who is promoting a protest for August 1st. Complete blackout on African braiding shops, restaurants, and stores, right? I'm absolutely here for this. I'm showing my support because I do this in my everyday life. I do not shop with the Africans. Ain't no African ever braided my hair.
Surely, I don't know why people should hate on one another. We should like one another. You know, Black Americans have a supremacist mindset. They think they are very much superior. Yes, they didn't have any problem with Africans when Africans was generally perceived as this backward place in need of help. You know, we are seen as people who really needed help, that we are the old zombies, the Zinjanthropus, the Australopithecus, while then they are the Homo sapiens sapien. And at the moment Africans began to excel on the global stage and also export our culture, all the dislikes started.
So I see y'all want to boycott Africans. What they did to you? Then first of all, talking about when it comes to the braids, you need to go to the Pacific shop and just don't go to them anymore or whatever. But talking about the food and y'all don't even be up in there. First of all, to be talking about all that extra stuff. Like, y'all don't be in there like that. Come on. As a Caribbean American, y'all don't be up in there like that. And y'all be letting Michael Kors don't want you in they stuff. I think it was Gucci. Who else? Lululemon. Y'all, like, there's so many, like, them Hispanic laugh in your face. Don't really mess with you like that. But you draw the lines on the Africans. Like, what? Like, where this coming from? This came from the braids? It's not even, I've been getting braids in my hair since I was 7 or 8 years old. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I first started getting braids in New York. My stepdad used to be in the army. He's retired now. We came, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas now. And we find some of them, but they do have good ones that braid good. But to do all of this, and y'all been doing stuff, because African booty scratcher came from y'all from since back in the days, because my mom used to tell me stories, because she came over here when she was 7, so she went through the school process calling them African booty scratcher. Then look how y'all went on the whole trend of eating their food. And then to call it, disgusting, all this stuff. And y'all don't do this for no other ones. And they be faking it with you. They don't really like you. And you draw your line. Actually, this is where they draw the line, the Africans. And sometimes the Caribbeans too, because they really don't fool with us either. But what? And y'all barely go in the grocery store. When y'all go in there for some shea butter? Because y'all don't be in there like that. Y'all don't be in there like that to now be like, oh, we not going here. We not going to support their business. They got their own community that support their business. They wasn't missing nothing with you. You got, well, at least because, I'm from New York. Shoot, you got Jamaican braiders. You got American braiders. You got African braiders. And sometimes their own community is supporting. It's crazy. When y'all said August 1st. Wow. And I just My brother just went on vacation. I thought she was done because, you know, them girls be, them Americans in Walmart be hating on my brother because she be eating them up, you know? And she back. What? And she braid real good. It's 2 of them that I go to. And me and my sister been going to them since we got to Texas, since 2014. My sister was out here since 2013, 12, around that time. I came after. Like, my mom be all up in there with my sister getting her hair braided. Y'all really be doing too much. And who y'all need to do this for, y'all don't be doing that for. Y'all be all up in their face. All up in their face. Still wearing the name brands. You hear they telling you they using the rappers as puppets. And you still walking around rapping. Still still quoting them. And y'all draw the lines at the Africans. Wow. You ain't got to wait for August. Like, for real, for real. Like, I don't even think they was missing. Like, cause shoot, I've been in Texas, Khalid, Texas. Some of the girls used to be like, ooh, you bougie, you getting them bougie braids. Cause sometimes my braids used to be like $280, you know. How much like 3 I spun, and they was thinking that was too much. So what? I was like, what? How is that too much? Braids cost more than this. But okay, carry on. Carry on.
What I'm getting is we failed to boycott Target. We failed to boycott Lululemon. We failed to boycott all the businesses that are failing us. But we woke up and chose to boycott African businesses starting August 1st. I'm here to tell you that August 1st is too far. Actually, I should start like right now and boycott it forever, because obviously priorities aren't set straight. Yeah, they are all the way messed up.
Can you guys actually lock in and not go to the African hair braiding shops, please? Do you see this? I need a retwist and I need the prices demure. I do. I really do. Y'all won't do it. Y'all won't. Y'all won't.
Who the heck started this whole boycott African businesses trend? Like, seriously, people's priorities are messed up all over the place right now. There are people, actual people being held in concentration camps. Genocide is happening in multiple places around the world, and y'all are focused on boycotting African businesses? You're under spells, people. I'm so confused. Look at how far we've come. Africans and African Americans. This is exactly what people mean when they say we're our own downfall. African Americans benefit from African culture every day, from braiding shops to restaurants to traditions and so much more. Africans in America today wouldn't be where we are without African Americans. They have paved the way for us in so many different ways. So why not boycott the businesses that don't benefit us in any way? Why not keep the same energy for the culture vultures, who, by the way, aren't just white people, who profit off of us every chance they get, who profit off of us but tear us down whenever we thrive? People talking about boycotting African businesses but can't stop shopping at Target and sipping on Starbucks and buying that nasty-ass McDonald's. Outsiders don't even see a difference when it comes to us. To them, we're all the same. So what is this energy? Why are we the ones dividing ourselves? Please, let's get it together. We've lost the fight completely.
Yeah, you know, these people, yeah, we have listened to everything. Thank you so much for being with me throughout the video. Of course, all the credit belongs to the original creators of these video clips. And this video is meant for educational and entertainment purposes also. And you know, these people, the Black Americans, they claim our artists, they claim our theaters, our cuisines, and and they like saying is this and that. Everything offends them, that all these people, our cuisines are this and that, our artists are this and that. So everything offends them about us. If you watch their comedy specials from the 80s, the 90s, and early 2000s, you hear all these jokes about African bushmen and all that. You can think them, they are not from that background or from that origin. That is Africa they want. They want the Africa of Bushmen, as in they want all Africans to be Bushmen. They don't want Africans to excel. They want to pull Africans down to the ground. So that is the Africa that they are very much comfortable with. This Africa that is prospering is difficult for them, and because they won't be the main characters anymore. Yes, so it's sad Africa's stolen children are turning against her. They are turning against Africa itself. They were stolen, but now they are turning against their mother. Imagine, they don't have the energy to boycott all the other shops, the Chinese shops, those other brown communities and the rest. All other the black communities. They patronize the Chinese with smiles and subservient attitude, but they have this jealous energy against African-owned businesses. You see, right now they are planning for a strike. Imagine, to strike and boycott all the African businesses. This is complete ignorance. It is complete self-hatred. Anyway, whoever wants to boycott African businesses, they should just do it. Africans will be just fine. Go and support whoever business you want. To those who boycott African businesses on the United States of America, trust and believe we are enough for each other. Yes, your money may have been the cherry on top, but we've got what we need to thrive on our own. That is what you should know. And our strength, our creativity, and also our resilience are more than enough to build a legacy. Yes, and that doesn't rely on others. We've got each other's backs. And yes, we will keep sending money back home, just like any other foreigners do, to support their people back home and also their roots. So who are you to behave as if you are the only ones who can support our businesses? It's part of the journey, guys. Let's all know that this is just part of this life journey. Yes, anyway, let's ask ourselves that who benefits from black on black wars? Do you know who benefits on black wars? Kindly let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this. Otherwise, thank you so much for being with me throughout the video. Kindly don't forget to give a like to this video. Also consider subscribing in case you have not subscribed to this video. Lots of love. Kindly share this video. Bye bye.